This week, as we are looking at individuals in the Bible who experienced very abnormal Christmas celebrations, you might say, we have 2 days left as we are here on Christmas Eve, and 2 individuals left, both of whom we meet in the same place. Not on the day that Jesus was born, but some days later when Mary and Joseph took baby Jesus to the temple, a man named Simeon and a woman named Anna. Today we'll look at Anna, and tomorrow we will look at Simeon. But Anna, if you look in your Bibles, most Bibles will tell you that Anna was 84 years old. But many Bibles will have a footnote by that says that we don't actually know if the number 84 there in that verse refers to her age or the number of years she had been a widow. The Bible does tell us that she had been married for 7 years, but then after those 7 years she was widowed. So it's possible she spent the next 84 years feeling quite alone. And that's a new feeling for many this Christmas. The feeling of being alone because of the pandemic and gathering restrictions and recommendations to not get too close to anyone so that people don't get sick. Many people are experiencing Christmas feeling more alone in their homes, in their churches, than they're used to feeling. And then there are the many for whom Christmas would have felt very lonely anyway, because you're missing someone really significant. They used to be here for every Christmas, but this year they're not. And maybe it's the first year, or maybe it's just the next one where you struggle to get through the holidays without letting your loneliness get the best of you. And those are hard situations, really hard. It's hard even for dogs. Queen is the name of a dog that about 2.5 years ago was found behind a dumpster in the city of Kansas City. And Queen was beaten up, dirty, and had a torn ACL, just in rough shape. But somebody found Queen behind the dumpster and took Queen to the local animal shelter where they got her cleaned up and got her ready for adoption. And that animal shelter is exactly where Queen stayed for the next 400 days. For the next 400 days. There was a man who came to the animal shelter regularly whose name was Scott. And Scott would walk by Queen. And Queen, every time Scott, and you notice other visitors too, would walk by, Queen would be really excited, tail would start wagging, and get really excited to see someone. But as day after day went by and nobody adopted Queen, Scott began to notice something happening to Queen. She just looked really, really sad. And when somebody walked by, her tail wouldn't start wagging. She just kind of sat there looking really discouraged, as if this dog who had been sitting there for 400 days began to realize that the hundreds or thousands of people who have walked by her kennel in those 400 days really just wanted nothing to do with her. And so that's when Scott decided to do something. He didn't adopt her. He moved in with her. He moved in with her. He moved into her kennel. He decided to work remotely, which was something that he had the ability to do long before many of us were commanded to do that or ordered to do that by our bosses in a pandemic kind of world. But he moved in with her. He brought in a desk and his computer and even brought in a plant and a lamp and all those things and said that he was determined to stay in that kennel with Queen until somebody adopted her. And as word started to spread that Scott was doing this wonderful thing for this broken-hearted dog, it didn't take long before somebody finally did. Scott only had to live in the kennel for 7 days before somebody finally adopted Queen. And then this dog, who had felt lost and beaten and broken and alone, found a home. Queen was going to be okay. And so will you. So will you. Even if you're more alone than ever this Christmas. Even if you're missing someone really significant. Even if this year hurts more than ever before. Even if this year has been your worst compared to any that's come before. You're going to be okay. Not because Scott is going to move into a kennel with you for 7 days, but because God himself decided to move into the womb of a virgin and decided to not leave this world when the pain really started happening. When he had to make a choice between his comfort and your soul. between his joy and pleasure and your salvation, between coming down from the cross or staying there to forgive us for everything that would have kept us from the one place where every tear is wiped away and there is no more death or crying or grief or loneliness or pain. Maybe that's why Anna was so good at doing just one thing. If you look in your Bibles and you read about Anna, she did the same thing really every day for 84 years, whether it would have been Christmas or Easter or her birthday or anything. It says that she worshiped in the temple day and night, day after day, for 84 years. In other words, there was only one place she wanted to be. In a place where she was going to be reminded of the Christ that she was on that day when Mary and Joseph came walking in, that she was holding in her own hands. And the Christ that we in our hearts hold by faith as the promise that this world is never going to get the best of you, because our God has come for you.